Hello.
What is your major?
Accounting with a finance concentration.
Art education.
I'm a biochemistry BS.
Well, I'm hoping my major will be psychology.
Okay.
My major also currently don't have one, but it will be recreation.
Industrial design.
I am a marine and coastal science major.
Fine art.
I am a biology and anthropology major.
Okay. And what is your major?
I'm a psychology major.
I'm at Fairhaven, so it's an interdisciplinary major.
Why did you choose that major?
My dad's in the military, specifically in the Navy, so I've been around the ocean my entire life, and so I've spent a lot of time in the ocean, and I really like sea creatures and basically everything to do with it. So I wanted to learn more, and that's why I'm here.
My dad was a pharmacist growing up, and I also have Crohn's disease, so I've kind of grown up in the medical area. I just found it really interesting. And yeah, just trying to see where it goes off of that.
I've loved psychology since I was like 12, and I still liked it going into college. I really want to work in a hospital, but I don't want to do medicine because that's gross.
Because I like problem solving and I like creativity and expression, and it's like a mesh between the two.
I have a history in my family of art. It's easy, but it's difficult at the same time. But it's less requiring than I'm in geology right now, and I like to be physical with art and less looking at a computer. So I enjoy it more.
I really like art and education, and I have family in that field. I don't know. Yeah.
I chose that major because I didn't feel like any of the main campus majors fit. So I was bouncing around. I was like, geology, psychology, I don't know.
Well, I came into college not really knowing what I wanted to do. I took a couple of accounting classes and figured that was right for me at the time, and it's going great.
Yeah.
Because I think that people are really interesting, and I think that it's awesome that we can study ourselves and those around us, and I think we can change the world with that. I'm choosing my major because ease and interest.
Do you have an idea of an expected salary or amount of money you're going to make in the future based on your major?
Not like an exact number. It kind of depends. I mean, it'll be low, when I start, of course.
Yeah.
But it should be like 80,000, 100,000, around there, wherever I start.
No.
No. Okay.
Not so much. I mean, I want to get a degree because I know that that's going to improve my chances of getting a good job. But I don't have clear career goals. So there is some concern as to am I going to make money with that major? But I guess right now I'm more focused on here's where I am, here are the resources that I have, and with that, I want to create a major that makes me happy right now, and hopefully that's going to pay off.
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
I feel like it depends on what section you go into, but hopefully 5 at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
The average for psych, especially if you're going into clinical, is around 85 to 100,000.
Not really. I didn't have specific values and numbers. I just knew it was a great marketplace for the industry I'm going to head into.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hopefully, if I was a psychologist, a lot of money. I do not have a specific statistical number of what I want to make, but I would say I'll probably be making not a lot of money as a recreation major, but I'm down for it.
70,000 to, in some cases, 120, depending on where you are.
Yeah, I did research. The estimated salary is 80,000 to 120.
My outcome of being an artist is I don't expect to make any money from my major. That's not my belief in art.
Okay, final question. Do you believe in the American dream?
Wow. I don't know, because I feel like it's a very abstract idea that works for some people and not others. And some people come here hoping for the American dream and then realize that is much harder to actualize than they imagine.
I would say I believe in the world dream because I look at myself as a human from the earth rather than an American from the United States.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely been harder to reach over the past few years for sure.
I do not.
I think that the American dream has, at one point, it was merited and it had realistic goals in mind. It no longer really is true. It kind of, you come to America for freedom and you don't get it. So, blah, 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 blah.
Well, thank you.
No.
No. Okay.
I believe on paper the American dream is achievable, but I don't know if it's fulfilling to all. I don't believe in the American dream on equal opportunities.
No.
It depends. I guess not in the sense of like how it was originally sold to like the people. You know? I feel like that doesn't really exist, at least in this point in time, in the country and in the economy.
Yeah.
No. I think it was romanticized in the 1920s, but it was only accessible to specific kinds of people.
As a first-generation college student, I think I do believe in the American dream. Just seeing where my mom came from and the doors she kicked down for me, and it's something I'm able to just do for the next generation. So I believe it's present if you have all the right motivators in life, and you have a strong sense of purpose to it.
Hello. Now we are in the debrief section of our interviews. So we want to talk a little bit about not only the interview data, but also the data that we received from the survey that we put out to one of Glenn's classes. We're not going to talk about this first question because it was, what is your major? And it was very subjective. But we'll start with the second question, which was, why did these people choose their major? So 8% of the people that participated in the survey said they chose their major because of financial benefits. The 84% of them had said that they had interest in their field, and then the other 8% had other reasons. And so those were all differing reasons why they chose their major.
The next question we asked on the survey was, based on the major you chose, what is your expected salary? And 61% of our respondents said that they did not know. And then 39% said other, and there was, you had the option to add in your own response for that. And so in that data, most people had an understanding that their starting salary would be much lower than what they were going to make later. Some people had an idea that their salary might start as low as $40,000. However, it ranged up to $100,000, $150,000 depending on the specialty.
Okay, so our last question was just asking people if they believed in the American dream. And to start off, 45% said no, and 38% said maybe, and only 17% said yes. And we noted a few of the responses because we left it open for people to write their opinions if they wanted to say more than yes, no, or maybe. And one of the ones that said no, we noted, said that I think that over time the American dream has become very fabricated and has created a narrative of false hope. America throughout its history has expressed its freedom and opportunity for its citizens, but now I feel that the opportunities of the American dream are catered for a few people/groups.
38% of these respondents said maybe, and a quote that we pulled from our survey was, "It is what it is, it's a dream, and dreams don't always happen, and not everyone is promised it, but it's something that you can work towards, which brings excitement to me."
And for the 17% that said yes, we chose this specific response. It says, I was born in Guatemala and put up for adoption by a birth mother who believed in the American dream, and so she made sure I was adopted and taken to the U.S. I believe in the American dream because I believe I have opportunity here and I can do whatever I want to do in this country, and that is a dream to me, and it is a reality I would have never had if I was still living in Guatemala.
So we just started kind of talking about this when we first were looking through all this data, because the difference between the person who responded and said no and the difference between what the person who said yes was like very broad. And I don't know if we want to talk about that.
Well, I think that's something that we gathered from our data was a lot of the people at Western, especially through the videos and through the survey responses, tend to say no, they do not believe in the American dream. And I think that our university is pretty progressive, but I think in a lot of ways that progression kind of sometimes forms a closed off perspective. Maybe that's more negative or more realistic. It really depends on your opinion. But I think that what we learned through some of the other responding things regarding the American dream, some people that had really poor opportunities in the beginning that now have a different lifestyle based off of like the American dream, they believe in it more than like others who haven't had that opportunity.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's really easy to just think that like statistically maybe the American dream isn't that realistic and it doesn't help like everyone, which is what it's meant to do. But also it can help people in other ways to help like keep them going. Like for example, someone like Tammy, like she has never given up, and that's like a big deal because a lot of people it's easiest to give up, but the American dream does keep people going, maybe for better or for worse, but it does provide hope, which is rare.
I think something I gathered from looking at this data is that although like yes, the American dream I don't think exists in like the way that we have previously imagined, which is showed in our responses, I do believe that like it exists in some way. Like that person from Guatemala, maybe they're not like, you know, like $1 million business owner or something, but compared to like what they began with, like they still got their dream in that sense. And I think like it's easy for us, especially already at since we're already in higher education, I think to like lose sight of like we already, in my opinion, like have achieved the American dream, even if we're not like at our big, you know, greatest potential or in the jobs that we hope to see ourselves in one day. Like it's still, we still have made it farther than many, and so I think that I don't know.
I think that's important perspective. I also think that something that was interesting when we were interviewing people was a lot of people chose their major based on their own interests rather than just through financial benefits. And I think that that's something that's changed a lot throughout time, because when the workforce started, people were just trying to find a way to make a living wage. And I do think that that's true, but I think that now as we've grown as a society, our ideas of work has shifted a bit. Now people do more so what they love and create so many different little subsets of work where they can get money. So it was really interesting to listen to all the different participants that joined us when we were interviewing.
Yeah, and like going off of like something to keep you motivated, instead of people just hating their jobs and chugging along, they'll have interest in what they're doing and be motivated based off of that, rather than just the idea of like finances and money to keep them moving. Instead, it's a love of something.
Thank you for watching our
Thank
video.
you. Goodbye.